And welcome to the Jefferson College Sports Report here on 1400 KJFF, as we are joined today by the softball coach at Jefferson College, Mr. Tony Cook. We're at the Jefferson College Fieldhouse on a kind of a warm afternoon, a bit steamy in here in the old Fieldhouse. And I know you've been having to deal with a couple of warm days as you've begun your fall practices and scheduled games and things like that. But I know things are going pretty good, aren't they?
They are right now. With the way the weather is and things, it's been hot some days and cool some, and so things are going well right now for us during our fall season. The injury bugs kind of hit us a little bit, so we're kind of dealing with that. But besides that, so far it's going well.
You have played quite a few games already. A lot of very busy weekends. The majority of your games have been on Saturdays and Sundays, which basically you work your tails off over the weekend. You get a couple days off, and then you're right back at it.
The way our schedule works right now, we play on Saturday and Sunday. Take Mondays and Tuesdays off, and we come in and come back to work on Wednesday and Thursday, Friday, work on what mistakes and corrections we need to make on what's been going wrong on the weekends, and trying to get that chemistry to find out where we're at as a team and our position players, how they're doing, and kind of gelling together, and then putting in our pitching with that. And so we're just kind of work together on the week, during the week, and then on the weekends we see what happens with it.
So far, so good. You liking what you're seeing from the team, the newcomers, especially the freshmen? Are they getting adjusted and that kind of thing?
Oh, I think so. Right now, I think our hitting's a little ahead of where we thought we would be. We were hitting the ball really well against some quality pitching. In this fall season so far, we've seen some good opponents, and the hitting's been that's what's been standing out the most. Defense has kind of been disappointing. And I think that's a twofold, because we've been mixing up a lot of sophomores with some new freshmen. They haven't played together yet, so they're not the gel there is not there where they're knowing what to do on the plays and things like that. So, and it's a learning process in the fall, and that's where that's why we practice right now, and that's why we try to improve so we can be the team that we think we can be in the spring.
I know that in the fall you don't necessarily keep track of wins and losses and things like that, but how has the team been doing overall in your estimation as far as coming up and coming through in game-type situations?
We've played some big games. One this past weekend that stands out was against SIU Edwardsville, which was a Division II national champs last year.
Done a pretty good job for us last year.
Our pitching went well. We had Sasha Chapman, a sophomore, up for us, and she held them. We were 1-1 till the 6th inning until we gave up 2 runs in the 7th, and then we fell to them. But overall, we were in that game. We had our opportunities. We had a couple of squeeze plays we tried. We had some great defense in that game, which was kind of out of the ordinary, because we haven't played real well this fall in defense. But we've seen some good pitching in that game, and but we fought well against that team, and that was kind of showed us that we can compete with a lot of good teams, and so we're happy where we're at, but we got a lot of work to do.
You've always played a lot of not a lot, but a couple of Division I schools in the fall. I guess you've played a couple already, but a lot of them are still to come.
We are. Thursday night we're scheduled to go down to Southeast Missouri State, a Division I opponent. Last year we had some success against them. Who knows what's going to happen this year? She's done a well. Good job down there getting some new recruits in and kind of reloading down there. And they look pretty good this weekend, what we saw them. So we talked. The coaches got together and we talked today a little bit about it. And so we're going to have our hands full with them on Thursday night, and then we turn it right around and go down to University of Missouri on Saturday. We're going to go down there and see our former coach here, Coach Redburn, and we'll see how things go there, and Aaron Ehrenwein from Mizzou. And after that, we turn around and we're going right back to Butler Community College, which finished 4th in the nation last year. That's one of our only JUCOs we're playing in the fall, and so it's not easy, but I think it's good for us.
Well, stiff competition always makes you better. Every coach has preached that, and it is the truth.
Absolutely. The better the pitching you see, the better the hitting you face. It'll bring out the better in us, and that's what it takes for us to get where we need to be. Then that's the opponents we'll play.
Let's start talking about the pitching a little bit, because obviously you lost your stud from last year in Allie DeFawcett. In fact, oddly enough, you've played her. Now that she's at UMSL, you've played UMSL a couple of times, and she's actually beaten you.
She has, and Allie's still throwing well. She looked very sharp for UMSL against us, and so we'll we wish her success, and we're always, back of our minds, we're always rooting for her because she's a former alumni here and a former player. So we're always wanting them to have some success, but it's kind of tough when it's against us. But our pitching staff this year, we've got some newcomers coming in. We got Natalie Sagal from Farmington. We got Kaylee Hughes from down there at Kelly High School. So we've had a Kelly pitcher in the past where Kelly Essner was from down there. And so and they kind of have the same kind of form and techniques. They're position type pitchers where they hit spots well, great off-speed pitches. And so we're looking for big things out of Kaylee Hughes. Right now she's battling an injury with her neck, so she hasn't got to pitch a whole lot. We threw a few innings there Sunday, and she did well. She didn't allow a run for the time she was in there, but we didn't get to throw as much as we liked due to her injury. And then we got a couple sophomores we're going to be facing with this year is Angie Fitzwater and Jenna Walter, and we're also going to throw in there with Sasha Chapman. That's our other one. And so between those three there, we're and the two freshmen, we think we got a good pitching staff. It's just those girls didn't get to see a lot of action last year because we had Allie and we had Kelly. So now it's time for them to step up, and so far this fall they have, I thought.
You got out of your freshman class, you have a good couple of kids from the area. Hannah Hummel comes in from Festus. You have Christy Gamerick from Windsor, and a couple other kids, obviously Natalie Sago from Farmington. How are those kids adjusting so far to this level?
Christy's done a really good job for us, especially in the hitting department. She's hit a couple home runs already for us this early. Her bat it's really looking good. She's got a nice swing going, and her defense has been surprising at the catching position. So Christy's kind of been a little bit surprised for us. We didn't think she had that much pop in her bat, and against the opponents that we've been facing, she's hitting it well. And also with Natalie's been we switched her Natalie around. Natalie Sagal is batting from the left side now for us as a little slapper. With her speed, we think she's doing well. And over the weekend, she went 4 for 6 from that position, so we're happy with her. Hannah's been in there. We've been trying her a little bit at shortstop, and now we're looking to move her in the outfield maybe. So Hannah's still working on her bat speed and adjusting to the farther distance in the hitting and things like that. So she's working hard, and we're seeing we think she can will be a positive player for us in the fall or spring.
Seems like you have a really your outfield group seems very deep, and you just have a lot of options out there, which is obviously very good to have.
We've talked about that. I think we got maybe one of the strongest outfields maybe in the country. And that says a lot about them. And I hope they don't hear this too much and don't think too highly. But right now, with Krista Velasic, there, in center field for us, she's excellent. She's done an outstanding job. And then Nicole over there in left field, Oceantag. And then we have Edie Farmer and Wright. And those three are just three solid players for us. And now we brought in another one, Brittany Ponder. She's been, we recruited her as a third baseman, but we saw her speed and the way she's been hitting the ball. So we're going to platoon her out there in the outfield because right now, she's leading our team in hitting. She's hitting well over 600. She's made great contact and defensively she's been strong for us. So we're going to platoon those four in the outfield, and we'll see how it goes from there with them.
It also looks like you have quite a bit of catching depth too.
We do. We have our sophomore returner, Stephanie McPherson, and then we picked up Molly Currington from Farmington, a strong. Molly's working on a knee injury. She had ACL surgery. She's battling back right now. We're utilizing her as a DH. She's hitting the ball well, and then this weekend she kind of struggled a little bit, but I think it's more of a mental part of her, and it's not so much the physical part of her knee. She just needs to overcome it, and so we're working on that. She hit today in the cages. She hit yesterday in the cages, and Molly, I think, is going to. We're looking for her to be behind the plate this spring, and she's going to contribute a lot, I think.
Yeah, so Summer Proctor is going to see some time there as well. That's not a bad situation. And, of course, Christy Gamera can play there, too.
Absolutely. And, we're looking at Summer as platooning her in the outfield along also with behind the plate. She's awful fast, short stature little girl, very quick. speed is one of the faster ones on our team, and so we're going to try to utilize that as much as possible.
Is that how you feel the key to softball success is? You have to have a lot of kids that can play several positions, that are very versatile with what they bring?
At this time of day, I think that is, with so much with the injuries and the games we play and the wear and tear on the body, you got to be able to put people in different positions to allow you to have some depth at other places. And if you just rely on one or maybe even two, you can get yourself in trouble, I think, with that. So we platoon around, that way they're familiar with the position. So if we do have an injury and then it doesn't cripple us as a team so much, then we can slide somebody in that position and it helps us out. It keeps us going and keeps us strong, I think.
And that's one of the glaring differences, I think, too, between softball and baseball, is when you talk about the utility kids. I mean, always in softball you have to have kids that can play more than one position, but you also don't need as many pitchers as you would in baseball because of arm slots and the way the game is played in softball. It's so much different from baseball. You don't need the kind of arms that baseball rosters would have to have.
You're right. It's been always, if you can have a 1 and 2 strong pitcher, you can ride it. What the old saying is, ride that horse out. You can keep them in there, and a pitcher can throw 2 or 3 games in one day. In baseball you just can't do that. But in softball, absolutely, you can throw more than once in a day, and we've done that in the past, and we'll do it. We've talked to Jenna Walter about that. Jenna's going to throw quite a few games for us this year, and we're going to utilize her as much as we can. She's we consider a power pitcher. She throws hard, and so we're gonna we'll ride Jen as far as we can. But with the other 4 pitchers we have, when we get into tournament play and things like that, we'll try to save Jenna through the week and stuff like that. And we'll use our other pitchers at the same time. But usually when we get to that spring season, we'll narrow it down to 2 or 3, and we'll ride those 3 out.
But you're kind of looking at Jenna Walter as kind of being your stud. She'll be the workhorse. She'll probably get the most of the innings, maybe.
Right now, it looks to be like that. In case you never know. I mean, somebody can come in the winter workouts this winter and improve their game and come in this spring and if they can show something, then sure, you can always change. But the way it's looking right now, Jen is, she's served her time last year. She learned from watching Allie and them, and it's time for her to shine this year, I think.
Well, we've talked about the outfield. We've talked about pitching and catching. How about the rest of your infield? Which kids are seeing most of the spots from third over to first?
Right now at third base, we're looking at Marissa Haynes getting a lot of time over there. Brittany Ponder's been getting some time over there. Lauren McWilliams from Rolla, Missouri, she's been getting a little time over there. So we're 3 deep over at third base. We're happy with our positioning depth over there, and so we think third's pretty solid for us right now. At shortstop position, we're looking at Tori Long. Tori Long, she was a freshman last year, played behind Kelly there. Got to watch Kelly play and got to see what what's needed out of her, and she's done a good job this year. And Hannah Hummel's going to help her back behind there. So between those two, and also Caitlin Bowman, we've been sharing Caitlin Bowman between shortstop and second. So we've got 3 over there at shortstop position. So it's looking pretty strong at that position. And over at second base, we're looking at Caitlin McCullum, her and Natalie Sago. We've been platooning those 2, back and forth over there. And we, second's probably more of one of our solid positions right now with Natalie, and then Caitlin McCullum, with the way things are going right now. But it can always change, you never know. But right now we're pretty solid there, I think. First base, we're rounding out with Kaylee Hughes is playing over at first base, Christy Gamerick, Angie Fitzwater. We've been trying a little bit of everybody over there. When Angie's pitching, we need somebody else over there, so that's where we get Kaylee. And if Kaylee's pitching, we're bringing in Angie. And then we throw Gamerick in there when she's not catching. So with that lineup there and on the infield and with our outfield, and like we said, our best 9 sticks of that day, that's what we're going with. So we'll see how it goes this summer. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it certainly looks like, as far as your roster goes, you got a perfect mix of freshmen and sophomores. It's almost cut right down the middle with your total roster.
Last year, we seen we were going to lose quite a few sophomores, and so we went out and we try to keep that an even keel where we don't have to rely so much on the following year of going out there and getting so many, because with having to replace so many at a time, it can make be difficult at times. So we try to do that, but we're looking next year maybe not to have so many of our numbers. It's tough to try to get a chance for every kid to play, and so things are kind of getting tough in that situation for me as my job. But overall, we like to death with that, maybe the numbers that we have this year, but I truly think next year we'll probably go down a little bit.
I know you can't really comment on recruits or anything like that, but I know that you may have gotten some verbals and things like that. And I know names you can't bring up until January, but are you pretty happy with how that's been going so far as recruiting?
Yeah, recruiting. I think this year is last year I kind of fell into this and had to jump out there real quick and learn as I went. And this year we kind of took a different approach. We went to a lot of summer teams this year. Watched a lot of girls play this summer. We followed them all up till August. We've been following them during this high school season, and so far we've gotten 3 verbal commitments. 2, I think, are excellent quality pitchers. One's a local girl around here from the county. One's from one's pretty much close to out of state, but not. And so we're looking at another one in the St. Louis regional area. That's also she's given us our verbal. So right now we've gotten 3 verbals for our pitchers, and we think that it's a solid staff that we got coming in next year, and we're real happy. We're real happy with our pitching next year.
That's gonna be a fun show come January when you can actually release who they are.
And I am. I'd love to throw it out there now, but it's just we'll hold off until then.
Got to wait until you get those written assignments, if
Absolutely.
you will. Yeah, you got to get those letters of intent in. So,
till we get their name on that paper, you never know. But I think they came in for a visit and it looks real well.
Looking at your coaching staff, obviously Brandy is back with you, and you got a couple of names on there also that are county contributors, and not all in softball either. Looking at that, Jeff Melton is going to be helping you out on the coaching staff. He used to play baseball here at Jeffco.
Jeff's been a great asset for this team, and he's a former alumni, former player, as you said, and Jeff's done a great job with our hitting aspect of our game. And I've talked to him, and he's working real hard with our hitters. And like I said, Jeff's done an excellent job with them. And on top of that, we've got Charlene Johnson, a former player, been around. She, academic All-American. Great stature. She comes in, with a mature attitude, really good. She works well with the girls. She kind of helps them. She kind of mends them on what's going on with our game and the college life and things like that. And I think it's a good approach for us. So she has a little a tighter knit with the girls than what I do sometimes, because me and we don't get along all the time with the players sometimes, and so she kind of helps me out with that role. And then Brandy, my daughter, she comes in and she helps us with the pitching staff. Last year we were down to me and my daughter and one other former coach, and so now this year we come back with, I think we got 4 coaches, and it's a good staff. We're happy with it. It's working well, and so we're real pleased.
Excellent. Well, Coach, thanks a lot for the visit, as always, and we'll catch you down the road, and good luck with the rest of the fall season.
Hey, thanks, Ryan.
That's Tony Cook, head coach of the Jefferson College women's softball team. He's joining us for the Jefferson College Sports Report, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes here on 1400 KJFF.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge, it means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
Welcome to Automotive Technology at Jefferson College, where students learn important industry skills every day.
I'm really interested in automotive, pursuing it as a career. Jefferson College has all the great tools, books, everything you're going to need in your career. Their instructors are great, and it is really interesting learning different parts of the car.
Jefferson College offers outstanding instructors teaching in state-of-the-art classrooms. The automotive shop area has the latest in precision tools.
I believe one of the strongest parts of our program for Jefferson College students is we do not let the student leave until they understand the processes involved. We work with the students one-on-one until they are comfortable enough in the knowledge they have and the skill level that they have that they can perform at industry level.
Instruction includes brake jobs, machining drum and rotor, tune-ups, engine repair, cylinder head work, wheel alignment, and electrical work.
I was very impressed with the professors here. I talked to both of them. They were very awesome. I like the fact that the campus is very close to home and it's affordable. And the employers that I talked to were very impressed with Jefferson College students.
Jefferson College graduates get jobs in their field. The Automotive Technology Department has a 95% success ratio with graduates working at many companies throughout the area.
What the employer was looking for was people with fresh minds that know the new technology and all those things I learned here at Jefferson College.
Discover your future with automotive technology at Jefferson College.
And welcome back to the Jefferson College Sports Report here on 1400 KJFF. And we're joined at this time by the pitching coach for the Jefferson College baseball team, Mr. Matt Skyles. How are you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Not doing bad at all. And I know this is your first go-around for being a part of the coaching staff here with the Vikings. And so far, what have you liked from what you've seen this fall?
Got a good group of kids. With what I'm dealing with, the pitchers were really young, and the work ethic. The kids really work hard, and they're a lot of fun to work with.
You, of course, played here at Jefferson College, and had a couple of pretty good seasons, went on to a pro career after that. That was after Missouri State, of course. And I guess you kind of weird how things kind of go full circle in a way. Now you're back here as part of a coaching staff.
Yeah, it is. I guess it was beginning of the summer when it was brought to my attention that I might actually have the opportunity to come back. And I've always wanted to get back in the area, and now, I was excited to have the opportunity to come back.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the pitching, since that's kind of your expertise as far as the team is concerned. And I guess first off, how are the freshmen coming along? Or
well.
Is it better than expected, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate. We were able to, bring in a talented group, so it hasn't, been as big a struggle, I guess you would say. We kind of use the fall as it's similar to a spring training type atmosphere, to where you're trying to get comfortable with the incoming freshmen, vice versa. They're trying to get comfortable with us, and it's been a pleasant surprise because they've been a little farther along than most freshmen would be.
Just looking at some of the names, let's just kind of run it down a little bit. First off, North County's Aaron Blunt. Coming back, he's had some shoulder issues the last couple of years, a couple of separations actually. How's he been working along?
Been outstanding. He's actually, we've been able to extend him, as far as how many innings he's throwing, throughout the fall. Just he's been right there with everybody else, so that's been nice. He hasn't had any setbacks or had any trouble, so he's right on schedule.
Seems like his trouble's always been when he's been a hitter, so keep him out of the batter's box, and I guess he's fine, right?
Yeah, most pitchers think they can be hitters, so we're gonna try to keep him out of there.
How about the young man out of Blair Oaks, Travis Henke? Everyone knows his uncle is Tom Henke, the former Major League closer, who actually played a year with the Cardinals. How's he been coming along?
He's come on good. He's been a little tired, which a lot of the younger guys will have that happen, coming off of high school baseball, and then most of them play most of the summer. So it's kind of why we take the approach we do in the fall, and not extending them too long, because it gives them an opportunity to let their arms rest a little bit too.
So he's coming along. It's just a matter of him getting acclimated to your schedule, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
How about Aaron Claycamp from Borgia? I know he came in as pretty highly touted type guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Aaron's done real well. He's as of right now, we're looking at him possibly, being in our rotation, and he's came in and hasn't disappointed. He's thrown well. He's shown 2+ pitches, and we're trying to work on some other things to help him develop some more. But he's had a good fall.
John Mannion came in with a lot of ability as well. Tell us about what he's been able to bring.
Well, John's on the shelf right now. He's kind of had some arm trouble, and we don't think it's anything severe, but like I said, we try to take it easy on him in the fall, so we kind of shut him down and let him rest, so hopefully we can have him back in the spring.
How about another local guy who came in as part of the freshman class, Seth Swafford?
Yeah, very, me being a lefty myself, I'm a little biased, but he's doing well. He, has a lot of ability. He's another guy that, could help us out a lot. Just continues to work and develop. He could be a pretty good one of the better ones to come through here, really.
Now, he pitched a fair amount of innings going back to high school and with the Slava season with the Barnstormers. Has he shown any signs of wearing down, or is he still chugging along pretty good?
No, he's still coming along pretty good. And, most pitchers, will have what I call a dead arm period, where they'll, have a week or a week and a half to where, their velocity really isn't the same, as it normally is. And a lot of us are going through that right now, just from, the long seasons. And he's kind of at that stage right now, but no signs of any kind of, obviously injuries or anything like that.
I know another guy that came in is kind of labeled as a flamethrower, and that's Robbie Ward. How's he doing?
Doing outstanding. Robbie's got a good arm, and that's he's what we call Division I arm, very quick arm. He's had a good fall, also. I think he struggled a little bit, in one outing down at Austin P, but other than that, he's had a really good fall.
And he throws the ball pretty good,
yes,
doesn't
he does. I think he's topped out at 93 on occasion this fall, and he's shown the good arm. He has an outstanding right arm.
Now, moving on to the sophomores, a couple of guys are back with good experience. Other guys didn't maybe throw as much as Coach Carroll maybe would have liked last year. Injuries or other things just kind of set them back. But it's kind of easy to build a pitching staff around a kid like Cody Fick.
Yeah. Cody's a baseball player. He's obviously a two-way guy for us, and Cody hasn't been able to throw a whole lot this fall, but when he gets on the mound, he's a pretty special arm. He's going to help us out a lot this spring.
He's another guy that was coming back from some injury issues over the summer, and is he back pretty well?
Yeah,
from that?
He's fine. He's no trouble. No signs of any trouble. He seems to be 100%.
How about a guy that I know showed a lot of promise last year, but didn't get a lot of innings in that Coach Carroll would have liked, Gerdine Acklin. I know he pitched a lot over the summer, played in the Metro League, which obviously helped him a little bit. Has that come over and transferred over well to this fall season?
Yeah, and I mean, with Gerdine's size and obviously being left-handed, we're, hoping and working with him to hopefully get him to where he's able to help us out quite a bit this spring. We're, going to hopefully be able to count on him a lot. He's came a long ways, and he's going to continue to get better, and his upside is tremendous. I mean, he's great work ethic also, so that bodes well for us.
Another guy that you mentioned, big kids, guys that have the size and the body to do it. Another lefty, Taylor Arf, out of Brentwood. This kid's a mammoth of a man for the most part. Is he starting to come around as far as pitching the way that you guys hoped he would?
Yeah, and we haven't. Gerdine's been kind of on the sidelines this fall, and from when he's been out there, I mean, he, like I said, any time a left-hander and a big body like that, really, if they can throw strikes and change speeds, they're going to help you out. So he'll figure into things this spring.
How about, here's a freshman, actually, I forgot, Sean Schaefer. He's another guy who's going to get probably his fair share of time too, right?
Yeah, he's, he's had some mechanical issues, which, as a pitcher, you're going to be fighting and struggling with that your whole career, but, he's worked on some things, and he's gradually gotten better this fall also, and he'll be another guy that's going to help us. You can never have too many arms in the spring.
How about Kyle Smith? He's coming along, I know, kind of slow because of injury. And what has his injury exactly entailed, and when do you expect him really to be able to come back full blown? Well, we're hoping. He hasn't thrown this fall. He's had. I want to say it was a labral type tear. I think he had a little fraying in his rotator cuff, but he just now started his throwing program, and we're hoping by this winter when we start our winter workouts, that we're able to get him back
throwing, and then have him ready by springtime. That's, the kind of timetable we've been given anyway.
That's kind of a guy that I know that you're going to rely on a lot for this coming spring because of the experience that he got from last year and the fact that, he just has pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Moving on to some other guys, another guy that had some injury issues, Cody Stites. He's coming back from surgery over the summer after kind of a frustrating year. He finally figured out what was wrong with him, and obviously that's been corrected now. And is it still coming along slow just because of the tenderness and the fact that I guess he only started to be able to throw full bore, excuse me, I guess about maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's got, it's coming along slow because we've wanted it to go that way. We're not trying to rush anybody along, and he's thrown, I think Sunday actually was his third outing of actual live game, experience, and it's gotten better each and every time out. His velocity's gotten better, his secondary stuff has gotten better, and he's shown signs, he has good stuff. He's got the ability to do it. It's just a matter of if we can keep him healthy, long enough.
Is he feeling pretty good, though?
Yeah,
Hasn't had any discomfort yet, really?
No, he feels good. He just has, he gets a little tired, which is, normal coming off an arm injury like he had. And like I said, we're just trying to slowly get him back into it. And I think he's going to be okay.
How about Ryan Stagner?
Good. Ryan, I'll tell you what, Ryan's a bulldog. He just, he goes out and he does anything you ask him to do. It doesn't matter who's in the box or who he's pitching against. He wants to compete, and that's what Ryan, he's able to eat up innings, and he's a lot of fun to coach because he'll do anything you ask him. He'll run through that wall if you ask him to.
How about Heath Story? He's another guy that had some issues last year with health.
Yeah, he's kind of in the same boat as Stites is. I mean, he's starting to get back on the mound, and he's throwing well when he's been on the mound, and it's just a matter of getting him healthy and keeping him healthy, and showing signs of a good arm. He'll be another big help for us.
Again, Matt Skyles, the pitching coach for the Jefferson College baseball team, is joining us on KJF. And obviously, with you being the pitching coach, you work a lot with the catchers and that kind of thing. What's impressed you about this group of catchers on the team?
Well, just really their ability to receive. Being a pitching guy, that goes a long way. I'd love for them to hit too, but I'm more interested in how they receive behind the plate, and Coach Kurtz has spent a lot of time with them, and they've gotten better. Our two main guys are sophomores, so that helps. They have a year under their belt, and it's just impressive just to watch them sit back and call a game and how they receive, and they've been better at throwing base runners out too.
And you got a guy that caught probably close to about 95% of the games last year in Greg Robinson. I mean, he was the Bulldog workhorse last year, and I'm sure that Coach Carroll is hoping not to have to use him that much again this season. Yeah,
that's a lot of time back there for one guy. We're hoping, to be able to give him a little more of a break than we did. So.
And Zach Blanchard, I guess, is the other one that you're referring to, the other sophomore. And then you have a freshman, Sean Wilkie, who also provides a little bit of depth as well. Have you seen anything from Sean with him being a local guy? I'm sure a lot of folks are probably interested in finding out how his process has been going as far as getting acclimated to this team.
The big thing with Sean is, he's trying to get accustomed to college baseball, and he has the ability. He has the ability to be a good catcher. It's just, he's had some knee troubles, and that's kind of set him back this fall too. So he hasn't been able to get a lot of time. As far as the ability to call a game and to receive a game, it's there. It's just a matter of, once again, that old injury bug. You've got to get these guys healthy.
That's true. So have you been impressed with what you've seen, not only from the pitching standpoint, but from what the offense and the defense has brought to the mix? Have you, guys like Zach Schei and Luke Schlechte that I know have had a pretty good fall. I guess it's been a lot of fun probably watching those guys go.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're going to have we have a good hitting team. I mean, you know, we feel pretty confident in what we have. You know, it's hard to gauge in the fall, you know, with, you know, running different pitchers out there every inning or every other inning, but as far as, you know, our hitters go, it's been really impressive. We should be able to throw a very good lineup.
Well,
out there every day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It seems like the depth that's been developed is working out pretty good so far. You know, obviously you got to stay away from certain injuries to certain guys, but that's why you have a roster filled with over 30 kids, so you can come back from things like that if you have to. But knock on wood, hopefully that won't be the case.
Yes, exactly.
Well, as far as the schedule is concerned, you guys have some stuff coming up before too long. The Pirates will be coming up, I guess, this Saturday. You'll be home for this matchup. And also the Diamond Stars coming up as well. So you guys are still hard at it. You've been on a couple of trips so far, which always helps to keep the team going and learn a little bit about themselves, that kind of thing. We appreciate the time, man. Thank you very much.
No problem.
That's Matt Skyles. He's the pitching coach with the Jefferson College baseball team. We wrap it up here from the Jeffco Fieldhouse. This has been the Jefferson College Sports Report on 1400 KJFF.